You all know the founding fathers embedded religious freedoms into our nation. And that has been allowing Americans to live out their faith now in the public square for 250 plus years. For about the last 35 years now, there has been a really direct assault on that particular freedom. In 1990, it was declared by the Supreme Court at that time that our religious protections were really unenforceable, which rightfully so warranted an outcry, and eventually the Religious Reformation Act of 1993 restored those freedoms all the way up until 2017. We remember Donald Trump stepped in and there was an executive order to further enhance those protections. Congress introduced what was called the No Harm Act. It would repeal those religious protections, specifically for the issues of abortion and gender and sexual orientation. And subsequently, as you can imagine, that would eventually force Christians to have to decide between their Bible and breaking of the law. The original author of that bill was none other than Kamala Harris. And then in April 9th, 2023, she and President Biden reintroduced the bill to Congress. I will quote here from Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council, who said, "For progressives to advance the new left and its Marxist core, they must eliminate a vibrant Christian faith in America because it stands in their way."
In the UK, over in the motherland, it is now illegal to pray in your head. Citizens in the UK have been arrested, prosecuted, and convicted for silently praying outside abortion clinics. Even organizing pro-life meetings in your own home may be a criminal offense. On October 4th, Emma, who asked not to be named, got a letter from the Scottish government addressed Dear Resident. Its purpose was to alert her that her home, due to its proximity to the hospital, is now in an abortion censorship zone. This is due to the UK's brand new Safe Access law, made it a criminal offense to do anything within 200 meters of an abortion facility that could influence someone's decision to access, provide, or facilitate an abortion. Even, quote, activities in a private place, such as a house, within the area, could be an offense if they can be seen or heard within the zone and are done intentionally or recklessly. The law carries a maximum fine of £10,000. A similar law will go into effect in both England and Wales. And in those countries, unlike in Scotland, the fine will be unlimited. So you could lose everything. You could lose your livelihood. You could lose all of your property for praying silently that babies not be killed.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parent's consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.